time that he died, which was 9:11 a.m. in the morning. I just peep all that kind of stuff out. And I just found it really strange how they were talking about, how this, how he was in the military, how, they don't really know what triggered him. And I like the word that they used, triggered, and I just thought that was kind of odd. When I look at, like, random killings like this, I tend to ask the question, what is really going on behind the Iron Curtain? I've always been an inquisitive kid. I've always been the one to say, okay, I'm going to take this for face value for now, but then at the same time, if some things stick out to me that doesn't make any sense. So the day that he died, they said he didn't have any emotion whatsoever. And I just kept thinking this guy was a Manchurian candidate. That's just what my heart kept telling me. Like, this guy was under some type of mind control, and this guy did it. And I just wanted to get your opinion about that.
No, you're absolutely right. And what he had was called assassin programming and vigilante programming. And that was what was being tested out, because there's coming to a time when we have the staged alien invasion, New World religion, all these things being imposed upon us, when there are people who refuse to go along literally with the program and want to rebel against what's happening, they are activating these vigilantes to stalk the ones who are against the government and what's going on, and to eliminate them or at least identify them so that they can be taken away. That is what he was about. And if you remember back in that time, there was quite a number of these snipers all across the United States, in various locations. There was the guy in the Amish country in Pennsylvania who occupied that little school there and killed all those poor little children in Pennsylvania. There was what happened in Littleton, Colorado, if you remember. That was also that vigilante programming. It was a test to see if, when they turn or trigger on these programs, who will respond? Will the ones who are supposed to respond? And they found out their answer, see? And then they know how to fine-tune the triggers and the activations so that when the time is right for all of them to be activated, it will be very smooth for them. And that's only the beginning of what we're going to be seeing.
Okay. We're at the top of the 30-minute hour. When you guys get a chance, make sure you log on to the website, isiswisdom.com. Log on to my hip-hop site, wordonthestreetsmag.com. And if you want to know more about Stewart Swerdlow, make sure you log on to his website, expansions.com. Stewart, I'm going to go ahead and take a call and let somebody ask you a question. They have their hand up here.
Okay.
Caller, 1643, you're on the air. Do you have a question for Stewart?
Good evening, Isis. Good evening, Mr. Swerdlow.
Hi.
I have a question. In 1993, a man by the name of Stephen Greer created an organization called the Disclosure Project. To your knowledge, is this a part of the programming to basically bamboozle society into the program of creating an alien invasion, or is his organization legitimate in actually bringing to the forefront the government's involvement with other creatures from other dimensions and planets, so on and so forth?
Well, you have a very good question there. It kind of puts me in a precarious position because I always state that I don't like to talk or criticize or comment about the work of others. But I can tell you just generally, without referring to that individual, that any so-called disclosure publicly is orchestrated by the powers that be, and the information that's revealed will be carefully crafted so that only certain kinds of information are revealed in the way they want it to be revealed. So basically, the truth is not coming out the way we would like it to be, but the way we are having it imposed upon us.
Indeed, and I said the same thing. I just wanted to hear what you had to say about that, because from my perspective, anytime you have individuals who worked for the government previously and had very high positions, to be in a precarious position like that and to gather with other individuals who are of the same cloth, I find that to be a bit strange.
I agree with you.
And for you to still be walking the earth and to be alive, I find that to be quite strange. So I just wanted to know, if the Disclosure Project created by this individual is basically a program because, as you well know, they have tons of programs running simultaneously. So I just thought it was interesting in the way that they were presenting their information, and just to hear him speak and so on and so forth is just very fascinating.
I agree with you, and I appreciate your point of view. And just so that the listeners know generally, whenever there's an official revelation, if you will, about such a topic, don't believe it.
Well, thank you, sir, for answering my question, and thank you, Isis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wow. For those who are currently listening to the show right now, if you have any questions for Stewart Swerdlow, make sure you call in to 347-884-8787 and press option 1, and we will allow you to ask some questions. Now back to the interview, Stewart. Okay, so I remember you talking about specifically where you were describing the alignments of our planetary system. And I was wondering if you can kind of touch on the original alignments and